they were, Peter rebuked Jesus. Okay, Chester talked about this, right? Peter rebuked Jesus because he thought Jesus was incorrect, but because they felt so strongly about prophecies in Isaiah. He was going to come as a king. Yeah. Yes, he's coming as a king, but not this time around. So they were very misinformed. He said, do you still not understand? Do you still have eyes that do not see, ears that do not hear? We can read a lot of things and miss it. Yeah. Maybe we missed that scripture you talked about. Maybe we didn't understand what Jesus really meant. I don't know. Sometimes God gives us more insight as we go. The disciples didn't even understand. What happened after he rose from the dead? Where are they?
Locked up.
Locked up. And Thomas refused to believe. But later, not very long afterwards, remember the 40 days before he was ascended? He spoke about what? 40 days. Spoke about the kingdom of God, right? So he was teaching them, reminding them, helping them understand. And he even says, remember John 16? He promises that the Spirit would lead them into all truth. So, sometimes it takes time, right? Okay, but that was a bit of a refresher on the main themes or the narratives of the book of Matthew. Again, they talk about there's 5 narrative passages, sections in the book of Matthew, and he seems to build around that. Why 5? Why not 6? Why 5? Why 5?
What's the important one?
How many books in the Pentateuch? How many books in the Torah? 5. How many books did Moses author?
5. Oh, yeah.
Jesus is a new Moses. Why 14 in the genealogy?
David's.
Jesus is a new David. Okay, let's listen to this.
If you're hearing these words, it's not a coincidence. Something powerful is moving in the invisible, and it's calling out to you.
I was like, Mark, what are you doing out there?
Anyhow.
He didn't use my YouTube premium.
Hey, sorry.
Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Don't lay up treasures for yourselves on the earth, where moth and rust consume, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consume, and where thieves don't break through and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Don't be anxious for your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor yet for your body, what you will wear. Isn't life more than food, and the body more than clothing? See the birds of the sky, that they don't sow, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns. Your heavenly Father feeds them. Aren't you of much more value than they? Jesus said to him, if you want to be perfect, go, sell what you have, and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. And come, follow me. But when the young man heard this, he went away sad, for he was one who had great possessions. And whatever you a rich man will enter into the kingdom of heaven with difficulty. Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through a needle's eye than for a rich man to enter into God's kingdom. Watch therefore, for you don't know the day nor the hour in which the Son of Man is coming. With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. You have heard that it was said, eye for eye, and tooth for tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. Be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others, to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. Come to me, all you who labor and are heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. Then Jesus said unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself, and take up his cross, and follow me. Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide, and the way is easy that leads to destruction, and those who enter by it are many. Then Peter came and said to him, Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me, and I forgive him? Until 7 times? Jesus said to him, I don't tell you until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. Don't judge so that you won't be judged. For everyone who asks receives. He who seeks finds. To him who knocks, it will be opened.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we want to get into the text today, and we listened to a lot of passages, which are great. It's good to talk about the Gospels context, but we really need to listen to the words and reflect on them, because they're really speaking to us. And Jesus says his words will never pass away. You know, everyone comes and goes, but Jesus' words remain, which is pretty amazing. Okay, 1 second. Okay, what about Matthew 2? What is the significance of the Magi? Who were they? 3 wise men? Were there 3?
There were 2, right?
Were there 2? Were there 3?
Weren't they like kind of people who read the stars? Yeah, there was something like that was their job.
Astrologers, priests. Where'd they come from?
The East.
Where did they come from? Most likely.
Iran.
Because the heroes wanted to find where is Jesus.
Why did he want them to find where Jesus was?
I think he lost heard that Jesus will be coming on the earth and he will be the king. And he lost a friend that Jesus will take his place.
Yeah.
But the might be like they come and they see God already. Instead of come and come back to the Lord. But they found Jesus and they respect Jesus. They never come back to the Lord.
What prophet had his ministry in Babylon?
Ezekiel?
Daniel. Yes, Daniel. Who was chief of the wise men in Babylon? Daniel. These wise men, astrologers, likely came from Babylon. They were very familiar with the prophecies of Daniel. And they also read the stars, and they saw that the heavens were speaking, giving signs, and they were following. They didn't know exactly, but that's why they were in Jerusalem and said, "Where is this King of the Jews to be born?" And where was the answer? Okay, how many Bethlehems are there in Israel? Well, 2. And this was Bethlehem Ephrathah. So they knew exactly where to go. And the star led them, they found that. Most likely it was a big caravan, it was not 3. They would have never gone in just 3. They would have been. And they believe with all the treasures these wise men gave, how did God use that later on? Yes?
Well, I was wondering this, is that what funded Jesus' ministry?
That's what, no. The women funded Jesus' ministry. That's what they believe their family lived on in Egypt when they were fleeing.
Oh, right,
So this is another example of why we should not worry, because if God is not in control, then Jesus would have been killed, and yet God provided. Use these non-Christian, non-Jews who gave treasure, and Joseph, in a dream, takes them to Egypt, and that's probably what they lived on when they were in exile.
Wow, God is always taking care of us.
And that brings us to the significance of Joseph's dreams. Any thoughts there? What was the significance of Joseph's dreams? What is his name?
Oh, the very Egyptian name?
What other Joseph do we know a lot about in the Old Testament?
In the Old Testament,
Yeah,
Joshua.
Jacob's son? This is Jacob's son. Jacob has...
He says other, what other?
Oh,
What
other.
other Joseph?
Yeah, what other Joseph in the Old Testament?
Yes, it must be a different name.
It's Joshua.
Who else had all these dreams?
Daniel?
Well, yeah, Daniel.
Joseph.
A few dreams.
Jacob.
In Jacob's family, who else had all these dreams? What was his name?
Isn't it Jacob?
So Jacob?
Well, Jacob had dreams too.
Oh, not even him.
But which of his sons had a lot of dreams? Joseph. No, Joseph is the husband of Mary.
What do you think about this gentleman?
You think too much. Don't think too much. Keep it simple. What were the significance of Joseph's dreams?
Oh, told them where they should go. Where to go. Where, when, to go back.
And also that it fulfilled all those prophecies, right? Because it was like, go from this place, he'll come out of this place, he's going to be known from here, and kind of all that, out of Egypt.
Yeah, God's dreams to Joseph, son of Jacob, were the things that were used to protect his family. Similarly, in Matthew chapter 2, Joseph receives dreams, and through that, he protects his family. Also Egypt. Out of Egypt I will call my son.
Mark, I have a question.
Yeah, me
So
too.
just like like the things that you're bringing up now, Daniel being, it's almost like, is Jesus' life kind of mirroring events in Israel's history?
That's a good question. We'll come to that in a little bit. That's a very good question. Hold on to that question. Before we come into that, it's good. Agnes is asking, does not the life of Jesus mirror the life of Israel as a people, as a nation? Okay, we're going to come back to that. It's a very cogent observation. Okay, Matthew 9. What was Jesus' mission? Matthew chapter 9, verses 35 through 38.
Fulfill everything else.
The workers are few. Pray that God send out workers into his mission field, harvest field. Right? Yeah. Matthew chapter 9.
37, 38.
35 through 38, right? Someone want to read that? 35 through 38? Matthew 9?
Oh, in time.
Yeah? Not all at once. Excuse me?
ภาษาไทย
ภาษาไทยด้วยครับ 35 through 38. Anyone? Lawrence.
Okay, English. No,
It says here the workers are few. Jesus went to all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease and sickness. When he saw the crowds, he had compassion on them, because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. And he said to his disciples, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his
Yeah.
harvest field.
What motivated Jesus?
Compassion.
Yeah, compassion. He saw the spiritual condition of people. And he's really pray for workers. Okay? And we've got to ask ourselves, are we aligned with the mission of Jesus? And are we motivated by his motivation? And are we really embracing and aligned with that mission? What are the two greatest commandments? Yes.
Love the Lord and love your neighbor as yourself.
He says, all the law and the prophets hang on these two commands. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine trying to summarize the entire Old Testament? It's what he did. Did he get it right? Did Jesus get it right?
But they were using the
Well, but
commandments.
he did from the Old Testament.
No, there wasn't. It was Moses. None of those came up from Moses.
That's
No,
Deuteronomy.
but
It is.
No,
It
matlab,
is
I'm
in
meaning that.
Deuteronomy.
Meaning like when I think
Oh, the
commandments, I think the 10,
commandments.
like none of that.
Yeah.
It all means that, right? In many ways, but it doesn't say. So it's just-
Yeah, Jesus understood what it was all about. It's really about loving God and loving your brother. Doesn't that go back, you mentioned the garden, doesn't that go back to the garden? They had fellowship with whom in the garden? God.
Yeah.
And the serpent tries to separate that. And then what happens to the offspring of Adam and Eve?
Try to kill his brother.
Okay. And leads to depravity and death and killing. Right? Jesus knew. He saw it clearly. That's expertise. You see clearly what all this noise is. It really comes back to that. Did the Pharisees understand that? No. They were into all the noise and all that other stuff. They missed what it was all about. They, what did it say? You know, strain out a gnat but swallow a camel. That's what happens when we're religious bigots. Okay, what's the significance of the Mount of Transfiguration? Why is that in the Bible?
Moses represents Elijah represents the prophets.
Who represented the prophets? Elijah. Yeah. So Moses, the law, Elijah, the prophets are with Jesus, who's transfigured in his glory. So they get a picture of it. Why did Jesus say, "Don't tell anyone"? Why did he say that?
For him to be popular, yes.
Yes, because then the crucifixion would not have happened.
It took me
If
3
people
years
knew.
to complete this. If he too popular, he killed.
They won't kill him. Come on, they won't kill him.
Earlier than 3 years.
So it's important to kill at the right time, right? Gongwela. Koi koi. Koi koi. Yes.
He was popular anyway.
If they saw it, but if he just said it.
Speaking of Jesus' popularity, why does he start speaking in parables in Matthew chapter 13?
For anyone who wants to
Those who
see
have
it
ears.
from him will understand.
He was weeding out those who are really seeking, searching.
Jesus was getting popular, getting opposition, and then he goes to the more Gentile-speaking oriented areas, and then he starts to encapsulate his teachings into parables that are hidden meaning. You know, Jesus was in opposition during his ministry. Why did Jesus tell the demons not to speak about him? Why?
Because they knew he was the Son of God.
They knew and they were calling attention to him.
Yeah.
Why? Because they wanted his mission to be successful?
More opposition. They invite more opposition.
Yeah, it was becoming a bit of a freak show. And Jesus didn't want that. You know, there's a reason for all these things. Okay, a lot of references. You can, Wim will send this out. You can look at it. Major things in the book of Matthew. We talked about them. Messiah, coming of the kingdom, death, burial, resurrection. Many important themes in the book of Matthew. One big theme is faith in the book of Matthew. Remember the centurion? I have not found such great faith in all Israel. Wow. Pretty intense, huh? Remember the Canaanite woman? Yeah. Matthew makes it a point to point out two pagans.
Yeah.
Why? Why did he do that?
Is it the kingdom for everyone?
Salvation to all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Acts chapter 2, was it for everyone? Yeah. Was Abraham a Jew?
No, he was a pagan.
See, the Jews didn't really know their own history. Abraham was an uncircumcised pagan, right?
God had to start something.
That was their forefather. So you see how hypocrisy really is illogical? We're usually pretty much all hypocrites, you know. Lack of faith, fear, worry, it's a problem, right? Faith is a big theme. Miracles in the Gospel of Matthew. Matthew chapter 8, 9, a little bit of 10. They talk, how many miracles do they talk about?
7. And I'm just guessing. They like
10.
very important numbers.
Yeah. 10 miracles. Why 10 miracles, you think?
I know, right, Mark? This is a plague.
Oh.
No, plaques.
Oh, plaques.
Autocorrect.
I wanted to see if you were awake. Many scholars believe the 10 miracles Matthew is citing really is mirroring. It goes back to Israel, it goes back to Moses, it goes back to the Exodus. Now the contrast with the 10 plagues were about destruction or restoration?
Destruction.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because Pharaoh was opposing, God was warning, and because of his opposition, they were going to suffer. Whereas Jesus is restoring. Many scholars believe Jesus. Why does Jesus say, when they're talking about the temple, and he says someone who's greater than the temple is here? What is Jesus talking about? What is the temple?
Jesus' body.
So Jesus was a living temple. He was a living tabernacle. Everywhere Jesus went, he was blessing and restoring God's creation.
Yes.
Jesus was a moving tabernacle.
What do you mean by that? Blessing and restoring God? didn't get that connection.
Remember the tabernacle? Remember David sent it away because he was afraid?
Yes.
And then it went to the house of Obed-Edom or something? And he was blessed?
Yes.
Why was he blessed?
Because it was there.
God's presence blesses everything around it. And Jesus was the living tabernacle, and he was blessing everyone he came across.
Fantastic.
And restoring God's creation. Why did Jesus get angry when he encountered disease and sickness? Why? Because that's not what God created. This is what happens when we fall and we sin and we turn away from God's word, but it wasn't what he created. And that's why he got angry, because it was not the way it was supposed to be. When we sin, we suffer consequences. Reward theology, a big theme in the book of Matthew. How many times does the word reward or concept occur? And your Father who is in heaven, who sees what is done in secret, will reward. The Bema, reward theology, is very strong in the book of Matthew.
Mark, but what reward is he talking about? Not specifically.
Not necessarily specified, but it's definitely the kingdom of heaven. That's part of it. But we will face judgment, and the Bible talks about we'll receive our reward.
Yeah, whether it's positive or negative, though, right? It's not necessarily positive.
There's a podcast, the Bema, that's what you like to listen to. They talk about reward theology.
Not prosperity gospel.
No. Not prosperity gospel, but as Christians, Jesus has taken our punishment, but Jesus tells us in Matthew chapter 6, put your treasure in heaven. Store up treasure in heaven. Be greedy for heaven. Be greedy for heavenly rewards. There's a sense of not static reward, but dynamic, depending on what we do. And that's why we should be active. Okay? Okay, Matthew, this is a good one. Who is Matthew? Was he a Roman? So how did the Jews feel about tax collectors? Why did they hate them?
They took corruption. And took for their own people.
Yeah, into extortion, corruption, greed, dishonesty. So they considered tax collectors like Matthew traitor to his people.
Mark, what do you think caused him to become a traitor? Because if he would have had Levitical training, he would have been very well educated.
It's a good question. Why did Matthew become a tax collector.
Because he in his writing, when you read, as you think about him, I think about it when I'm reading him, reading Matthew, that he must have been very excited because as he was writing this, he was seeing these prophecies fulfilled that he would have learned about. And I think maybe he got disillusioned by something, and then all of a sudden he starts to see these prophecies.
What was Matthew's name? Why would someone name their son Levi? Why was he so erudite in school in Jewish law and Old Testament? Why did he seem to be estranged from his brother? If you piece Luke and Mark, you get an indication. He had a brother and his father, but scholars believe he was estranged. Likely he was raised to be a priest.
Ooh, and he turned his
and
back.
he left. Maybe he got disillusioned. He left, and so he was estranged from his family.
It could be that he ended up becoming a tax collector if he was like shunned and whatever.
Yeah, he had no choice.
We're imagining.
But if he was hurt,
We don't really know, but a lot of scholars piece this together. The fact that, well, there seems to be evidence that he wrote in both Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. And someone with that breadth of expertise and knowledge, so schooled. I mean, the Gospel of Matthew is a masterpiece that's deeply rooted in Old Testament knowledge and awareness that you would expect from a Levitical priesthood training that Peter didn't have, others didn't have. Now, there's evidence and tradition that Matthew did missionary work in Ethiopia and Persia, and he was eventually killed, martyred, if you will, in Ethiopia. That's what church tradition records. Matthew, really a magnificent masterpiece about the Messiah, fulfillment of the Messianic King. That it really is a masterpiece. And again, why did Jesus tell people not to? Remember Peter? Who is it? People say I am. What did Peter say? Matthew chapter 16. You are the Messiah, the King of the Jews. And Jesus says, don't tell anyone. Why? Peter got it right. He got the answer right. Did he get it right? Yeah, Jesus said, blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by man, but by yes. And then he tells him not to tell anyone. Why? Why would he do that?
Mark, you said because of the popularity.
Nong said that, not me.
Oh, Nong said.
I think it's the prophecy.
It sounds right.
Yeah.
Is it partly, sorry.
Yes.
If that needed to be revealed to him by God, maybe Peter revealing it to others would be man revealing it to them. And maybe this was something that needed to be revealed to them by God.
They were still prophesying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, eventually in Acts 2, when they see the signs from heaven, that's a sign to everyone, hey, God is speaking. That's an interesting point. It seemed to be about timing. Jesus was revealing himself to, Jesus was very careful to fulfill all the prophecies. He knew. Remember, he didn't let people celebrate with him, but in the triumphal entry, he does. Why? Because Jesus knew that the time was right, and he allowed it to happen. Okay?
It's not today, Mark. We commemorate Palm Sunday.
Okay, so next time we're going to dive into Mark.
Wow.
Okay?
Mark by Mark.
We're going to dive into Mark.
By Mark.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Mark by Mark.
No, you don't want to talk about him. No, not at all. Okay, thank you.
Sorry.